Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey guys, back with another game, couple games here today. We're going to continue moving up the Russian light tank tree. So today we're going to be looking at the tier 9 in this line, which is the T54 Ltwt. Now, this line is, well, this tank, it kind of just continues what the Ltwt was good at. It's got fantastic mobility, combined with really good armor for a scout, especially you compare it to other tier 9s that real tier 9 lights, they don't have any armor. I mean, to speak of. So this thing really fits into that role of what I like to call the anti-scout role, and that it's really able to just hunt down and take out enemies, light tanks really well. Especially when they're lower tier. You're going against tier 8s or even tier 7 lights, you're going to dominate them if played correctly, because you have a good amount of frontal armor and troll turret armor as well, which is fairly reliable. And combined with the speed and maneuverability of this thing, I mean, this thing's probably even more agile than the Ltwt. I mean, it turns on a dime. I mean, it's crazy. That's what literally I call it, the Russian hovercraft. But yeah. So the way I like to set this thing up is, it's a little weird. I still don't know if I like how I have the equipment set up on it, I just noticed, which is repair kit, rations, and fire extinguisher. And the only reason I think that setup is still on here is because this was a tank when I played competitive play tier 9. It's used quite extensively, so I still have that kind of a setup in place, so that if I get lit on fire in that kind of a matchup, I don't just burn out and we automatically lose a tank. That's kind of the reasoning why. It still works in pub play, I guess, but I'd probably more recommend for you all just to run repair kit, the first aid kit, and probably either rations, or if you want to do the automatic fire extinguisher, that's also good if you don't want to lose your entire health. Because this thing, it's Russian. They have some issues with fire, but overall, that's how I like to set it up with the equipment. And you kind of see the ammo load out. It gets 40 rounds now. It used to only get like 34, I believe. So I'm doing about 24 and 16 APCR. And then equipment, I like running like the normal light tank loadout. You should probably know at this point, which is optics, rammer, and vert stabs. Though you can. Some people like to switch out vert stabs possibly for vents. I don't usually. It's just I'm more mobile. I like being in the face, and especially with this tank, the way I play it. The gun's accuracy isn't that great. It's got a good rate of fire and all that, but the gun itself, it's not the most accurate. So really, you want to be kind of close to your targets. You don't want to be taking shots in a distance, basically, because you'll miss. And the penetration on isn't the greatest. So as you see, we're just kind of keeping these guys lit up. We're kind of playing a delay in action here, though, and you see Jack is in the T95, so he's just being the hard place, or being the rock, I guess. I don't know how to call that, but he's just distracting them. They're all shooting at him. He's just being an annoying, like, pest, basically, that they're not going to pen. And here we're getting a little crazy as we're like within 5 tanks, and now we're going to start doing the mid to late game role in this tank, which is just using the mobility and just able to find targets, assassinate them, and just kind of circle them and isolate them. So like this, we're circling a medium tank right now, just to give you perspective. I mean, I know it's not the most agile medium we're chasing, and you see, as soon as I realize he's going to start possibly getting shot at me, I duck over, because I don't want to get hit again. I don't want to lose hit points, especially in this close of a game. And we're able to take him out, I think, for his entire health. So here I'm searching. I know there was a one-shot heavy tank. I want to take out the guns first. Here I really wish I could have rammed him, but I don't quite have that. And here I really wanted to ram him, because again, this tank weighs a lot more with the armor than something like the Hawk 12, which has like no armor. If you hit him, you're gonna do some big time damage. Now here, I don't want to risk... I'm not a huge fan of this, because he's able to, like, just slightly outrun me. So, I'm going to play it more on my terms again, and make him make the mistake, and again, we're able to make that happen and shut him down. At this point in the game, I'm still fairly confident, even though the scores, basically, they have 5 tanks and 2 arty versus me and 1 tank destroyer, a tortoise, versus 2 arty. But I still feel fairly safe about this because our tortoise is on nearly full health, I believe. So he's going to take a while to get killed. So we're going to use him as bait, like I always say, and just kind of play around that. And use this tank's great mobility to just kind of duck dive and just like basically just be annoying and fly around the map and take out whoever's distracted. And we see the Tiger's just distracted. He's got his sights set right on the artillery. So we're going to put several shots into this guy. I really wish I could have gotten him out right here, because it probably could have led up me to getting like one or 2 kills in this game. But you see, even with stuff like that where we come over in his RBRT, I still wait just a fraction of a second, so hopefully it aims in. And here we're just able to tear into these guys. That's 2 kills. And that's 3 kills. And we're going to come in and pick off our 4th guy. You see, quick work that we turned that situation on a dime. They were up several tanks, and we were able to take out 4 of their tanks probably within less than a minute, basically. I mean, just how to turn a game just in a blink of an eye. You see, I'm on 7 kills. I wish I could have got maybe 1 more in there, but we're going to go hopefully secure the Radleys here. You see, this game's been non-stop. I've just been flying around, just going from one target to the next, not really sitting still, not wasting any movement. And he kills the arty, so I know I'm going to be coming in to a guy who's distracted, turning around, and we're able to shut him down for our 8th kill of the game and get the Radley wall boost, which is always a nice, good little medal to get. Yeah, here I'm pretty sure I'm probably not going to get the 9th kill, nor does it really matter, but again, just this tank's roll. It's also a decent active scout, but the view range isn't the greatest. I believe it's around the 390 range. I could be mistaken there. Let me just look real quick. Yeah, I'm right on the dot. Yeah, 390 meters base view range. So it's not the best at tier 9 by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good for active scouting to a degree, and that's just because of the mobility of it. Like kind of like the LTDB, it's just really a real mobile, hard to hit platform if you're maneuvering a lot. So it's a good, it can fit into that role, but like I said, I really like that anti-light tank role, where I kind of let them push in their scouts, and then I'll come in and just abuse them, basically. I'll ram them, circle them, spin them out, I mean, you name it, basically. So that was a really good result on that last match. But again, we're going to, this match, we're going to kind of showcase that role as an active scout to more of a degree. Especially with this kind of a matchup, as you see on the screen right now. I was actually talking to them, I'm like, we're a 3-man top tier, tier 9 platoon. If we lose this game, it's our fault. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if we lose this game with our platoon, it's our fault. I mean, you can't ask for better matchmaking than this, and there's no arty. I mean, this is, I was like, I'm gonna probably have a good game here. Just one of those matchups that pops up on the screen, and I'm like, okay, let's make this happen, basically. So, with this thing, you really want to, like I said, it just kind of acts as a, in the early game, you're kind of scouting, kind of anti-light tanks. But also, in like tier 9 games like this, you can kind of play it as a highly mobile medium tank. Just because it's basically, it's just a T54, but it's faster, but less armored. So, overall, it's a really fun tank. I mean, again, don't expect the gun to operate well at long range, because you'll be disappointed severely. But you see, I go to the usual spot here on T54 Ridge, even on the war variant, which I like this map for scouting purposes. I know there's some unpopular opinion because, you know, blah, blah, console exclusive maps. I don't care. It's whatever to me. Any map that lets me actually scout and kind of play with my light tanks in an open area, I'm fine with at this point. But, you see, with the view range on this for me, my crew, I think I probably had like 9-10 perks on this tank. I'm fairly confident that nothing's gone over this way. So we've moved up into my secondary position. I like to kind of go from this side once I know the ghost is clear. Now we take a couple shots incoming from their hill. So I'm not going to poke until I'm unspotted. And then I'm going to reposition around here. I see that T32 is, well, he's stock just by the hit point numbers. That's something I like to pay attention to. Also, that helps me gauge what I'm going against, is the hit points on the tanks. It's a great feature. I like that they added it because it lets me tell what kind of gun and armor they're rocking. Like that T32 with 1400 HP. I know I can probably penetrate his turret frontally, which is kind of counterintuitive to what you usually think with T32s. Because that the top tier fully upgraded turret is like unstoppable. But when that thing's stocked, it's very weak actually. We spot the CDC. He's gonna get a case of I got a YOLO me. So we're just gonna basically bully him a little bit. Now this terrain's kind of difficult. I immediately refer my tracks, but it's a little bumpy and it's not the best for having these kind of engagements in any tank, just because it slows you down. So you're only doing about 40, something like that. I could ram him probably, but I don't want to get tracked, and I don't want to really risk that, especially with the other flank not being that secure. And we're able to just pause for a second, RBRT on the Panther, and just let it aim for like just a couple seconds, if that, and let the shot come off and more accurately go in. So now we push over here. This is kind of the third position I like to go. Once I push down this flank, kind of clear it out, because then I can spot them on their hill, and it's a good position if you know you have support. And this time, this game, I know I have plenty of that, so I'm not worried about it. Again, just kind of using this tank. Oops, sorry about that. But in that active scout role. Unfortunately, that one just tracks him, but so with like I guess considering perks on this tank, I'd probably consider some of the camo perks. I mean, it's a light tank, you obviously want them, but I'd probably more focus on the view range and spotting and gun handling, because just the way I play this tank personally, I'm going to use it more, again, in that active role, so I'd rather have the extra view range and the gun performance, because I know I'm going to play it as a pseudo-medium tank to an extent. Again, I probably am the worst deck because I play most of my lights like a freaking medium tank, but you can really make this gun work. It has 250 alpha, so you can get some decent rolls with it. I don't carry any HE on it just because of the limited ammo it has. And here you see I'm fairly okay with just sitting there, because again the turret on this thing is fairly good, and I'm not too worried about the tier 8 penning that at that kind of an angle, or even hitting me at that angle. So it's just kind of knowing what you have. And right there is a good example. We don't have enough gun depression. Another kind of note about this tank, it only has 5 degrees, I think. Again, that's kind of a trend with the Russian light tanks. They don't have much in the way of, gun depression. I know it's not surprising, but what they do have is a lot of mobility. You see, we're up to 70, almost 70 kilometers an hour on flat ground, and you get there really quick. So it's a great tank. And it's definitely something I want to play more of. But I have a lot of good games. You'll see a couple more games in this thing that I have saved up. And those ones weren't as well played, in my opinion. They were still probably 5,000 damage games. I know this is turkey problems right now, but there were some mistakes that I had in them that weren't quite to my level of standards. So I wanted to get some other games for you guys. So I got these two. The first one I got like literally right after saying that. I was like, man, I really want some other games to showcase the lightweight, and immediately got that game. So lucky for that. And we're gonna finish this guy off, and you're gonna see we rack up close to 5,400 assisted, playing that pseudo medium kind of like active scout role. And we also were able to rack up 3,500 damage in that game. So, and we were able to pick up both the scouting medals, so the scout medal itself for detecting 9 enemies, and the patrol duty, which is always nice. Which again, we all finished top of the team with well over the damage expected for all of us. So we did our job. We didn't let the team down. And I hope that I hope that answers your guys' questions or gives you some tips and tricks about this tank. See ya.